World Indoor Championships in the 3,000 meter as well earlier this year. Was a really big accomplishment for Shelby to get back after that 5-year suspension, but now she's racing with the big dogs. So it'll be exciting to see how she mixes it up here in the 1,500.
Also returning to action is a guy that you always got to say, where are you when he starts to kick? And that's George Beamish. He'll be in the 5,000 tonight. He was originally scheduled to steeple, but he's in the 5, hasn't raced since the Olympics. One of the most exciting competitors in the world.
But I think the thing about George, especially for today, he has really good competition. We got Woody Kincaid, we got Sean McGordy, a lot of great guys that have the capabilities of running 13.0s right now in this season. So it's like, George, I know you want to kick, but like my dad always told me, don't let the good ones get away. Don't let Woody Kincaid get too far away from you, George.
So I think Mo will be in a section of the 1,500, and you and I talked off camera. We saw her actually coming into the stadium. Mario Garcia Romo with the on squad there awaiting his race this evening. But she is slowly working herself back into a competitive position.
Yeah, I really got to talk to a thing when she raced her first race back since that Olympic tragic fall that she had at the Mount Sac Relays when she ran 3,000 meters of that 5K. And it seems that she's really just trying to have fun with the sport now. We didn't really talk about training that much and what she's been changing. She didn't want to talk much about that. But it seems Bobby Kersey is taking like this over distance approach. I feel like the sprinting and all that has injured her in types of ways. So I've got her banged up. We'll see how this over distance approach really takes it. And I'm just interested to see how fast does she run this 1,500. Is she going to try and win it, or is she going to go for a time?
So before this 800 gets going, we're going to table the Jake Whiteman conversation because he's going to be on the track tonight. But as we get ready for this race, track fans, you need to be ready to make your picks and predictions on TrackFest tonight. Download the Spike app now and see if you can call all the winners. Spike is bringing you a brand new way to engage with track and field, and it's completely free. You can make your picks on all the heats. Just scan the QR code and get started and join. Just get started and join tonight's action. So you saw those women in our first section. This is section number 3 in the 1,500, or excuse me, in the 800. Georgia Jenneret, currently at UCLA, scheduled to pace tonight. A Southern California native, went to J. Sarah in Orange County. Mallory Lindemann, Malia Menegatti, Cassidy Johnson, and Ellie Leather running for that Under Armour squad is our field of 5.
I really like these type of fields because we have a lot of these women who are trying to really make it in their careers. They're really getting started off in so many different ways. So this is a great barometer for them in their season to start things off here in 800 and sort of a low-key race. We always have a great field, a great crowd that comes out here at Oxy. So they're going to cheer them on, and hopefully we can get some PRs out here today.
And this is section number 3, our first of 3 women's 800s underway. And again, Jenneret, our scheduled pacer.
And this race right here, we have a lot of former collegiates, people that are just right out of college. Cassidy Johnson, she's a Rutgers alum. She's the 800 and 1,500 meter school record holder. Malay Mangetti, she's the Boise State alum, 2-time Mountain West champion. So a lot of these girls are top in their fields when they're in college, and they're trying to do the same things on the pro ranks.
So the pace lights are at 2:02. Jenneret well ahead of those, and the pace lights will adjust for these women. They'll go out, they'll come through 459 seconds. She's just ahead of that pace. She's probably in 57 high pace at the moment, and then it will adjust to 2:02. So doing a nice job with some pacing out front.
Leather, I think, looks kind of really, Lindemann, I want to say, looks really good at the moment, too. But Leather right there on the back, I think, is running a great race, and it's going to be really competitive to see when we get to about 200 left to go.
So Lindemann continues to lead, but these 4 women right together off that nice quick pace. Now you see they're right on top of those pace lights with Menegatti there on the outside.
Yeah, I think I'm going to keep my eyes on Ellie Leather. She was 3rd at UK Indoor National Championships in 2025 in the 1,500, and I think the strength is going to come into play this last 200 as she really starts to come on.
And Joshua, you saw right at 131 at 600 is Ellie Leather, and she's got the front at the moment. Now Cassidy Johnson bouncing back. Johnson just a step ahead of Leather, and Johnson looking to finish. Straightaway is a bit short here, so they got to be ready when they come into this home stretch, and she is. This is Cassidy Johnson. Now Leather battling back right at 2 minutes. It is going to be Johnson just ahead of Ellie Leather.
And there you go, not PRs, but great races where Cassidy Johnson perfectly executed to a T. She was in position the entire time. She's been in big races at Rutgers where she's won championships, conference championships, as he comes out here today and does the exact same thing. That was an amazing race by Cassidy Johnson and Ellie Leather as well for a 1,500-meter runner to come down and run a 2:02, a great start to the outdoor season and just get things really going as the World Championships. We looking all the way till September, so this is good.
You know, to top the show, we talked about sharpness, and you can see they weren't totally sharp, but they ran fast. The setting and it was set up beautifully, and they get to sign autographs.
There you go.
Hey, you break 2:02 for the first time, and you're signing. You know, so Cassidy Johnson did that, running 2:01.91, knocking over a half second off her lifetime best. Leather at 2:02.11, so she's having a very good 2025. The Cincinnati alum, training with Team Boss at the moment. So we are one race down, and on the track now we are getting ready for Section 3 in the men's 800. So we'll come back with Section 3. Our wave lights are set at 146.50. So these men. This is a PR zone for these guys, just a couple under 147 in their careers. The wave lights, these 146.50 pace lights, will take them through in 52 flat on the opening 400.
I think a key person to keep your eye on is Jonah Hoey. We've seen what his brother has done, what his brother has done during the indoor season, breaking the American record indoors, and now to really get some more training on his belt for Jonah Hoey and Josh Hoey, for all the Hoey brothers. It's going to be exciting to see what he's really capable to do. The brother, Josh, has been doing amazing, so let's see if Jonah can live up to it.
With each of these races, we'll bring the graphic up on the World Championship standard and that minimum standard to get into USAs. Obviously, there's explanation that goes along with those standards. And you mentioned the Hoeys. What I want at some point is to be able to go to one of those training sessions because they are quite legendary from the stories that I've heard and obviously are working. So we also want to point out, we've got a large field here. So Crocker will be our pacer up front again on that 52-second. Ian Crocker scheduled to be our pacer with 11 in this field. You see there's Noah Ray wearing hip number 9, and we are underway in Section 3 in the men's 8.
I would also keep your eye on Bobby Poitner. He's been really competitive just throughout the years of how he's been running. He's always in the mix and always trying to challenge. But I think that comes just with 800-meter runners, the mentality. Everybody wants to be competitive. Everyone always wants to win. There's just a little bit of an ego that comes with being a mid-distance guy.
Yeah, I actually kind of like the fact that this is a little bit larger field because these men are going to have to be able to, I mean, they might not like it, but when you get to USAs and you got to battle bodies in hundredth of a second to get out of the semis, this is something that, they may need some practice in doing this. And you got Crocker running for Valor TC. That's a club here in Southern California. And a bit of a stumble as he comes off, leaving it to Colin Dilla. And there's Pointer up front, as you mentioned.
Yeah, Colin Dilla, I think, is in a great position as well. Being able to really draft out of Pointer as he gets onto this third 200, I think that's going to help him out greatly as we get to about 200 meters to go. So let's see, this backstretch is really essential, as always, in an 800-meter race.
So 54.1 on the opener, so conservative pace, which explains why these guys are all right together. And can Dilla continue to stay connected? These two have gotten away from this field just a little bit. Shimokoa of Mountain South Elite trying to stay connected, and Kane Evans right there as well. But man, Pointer
relaxed, comfortable, knees are coming up, and honestly is speeding up at the moment with the 50 meters to go, trying to get a big PB.
So, and it's Pointer going to be just under 147. So 147.67 for Pointer, and really ran uncontested. Brewer at 148.89.
I gotta see Pointer. He got some swag to him too. I like the glasses. You know, the earrings look good as well. He definitely ran like a smooth operator, especially in that last 100 meters. That's how you want to finish comfortably in an 800-meter dash.
Yeah, just really. I don't want to say wasn't challenged, but was up front, and nobody battled him.
But he definitely could have been in section 2. He definitely could have been in a faster section for sure. He has the credentials for that. But it's always good to get a win, you know, especially to start things off, get a win, get under your belt. Like you said, I bet he's not super sharp at the moment, but to be able to walk away with the win, get that confidence, has to be such a pick-me-up for him at this time in the season.
So I love that the kids are getting autographs. This is fantastic.
And you know that it's just going to get bigger and bigger as the night goes on. And I'm sure we're going to see some 40-year-old men over there as well as we get to like the men's 5,000. Like it's going to be there's stars here. It's LA.
That's right. I love it. I love it. So now section 2 is on the track, and things start to heat up a little bit here as these women, and they will throughout the evening. Our wave lights set at 2:01 with a 59-second opener. So we've got a strong field here. Lindsay Butterworth, the Canadian Olympian, in this one. Sammy Watson, saw her at Brian Clay or at Last Chance, I think it was.
Yeah.
And
Franson.
Former NCAA champion in this field. McKenna Keegan, a Villanova alum who's been sub-2 in her career. So a lot of strong women, and the pace lights should set up a good kick, I would imagine, for this race.
They're only set at 2:01. I feel like they may be ahead of these pace lights, Kevin.
I think so. It's pretty conservative. They might want more than a 59 first lap, where everybody in this field has run under 2:01. One curious player here is Simone Plorty from running for Nike, the Utah alum and Canadian Olympian a year ago, dropping down to the 800 here. She's run 4:04 in her career. So I think you're right. Like, these wave lights could very easily be at 2 flat or 159.
And we have national champions in this field as well. Alison Andrews-Paul from New Zealand. She's a 2-time national champion for the Kiwis. For Camille Loss from Belgium, she's a 2023 national champion in this race. So there are women in this race who have performed on very big stages. But I got my eyes set on Sammy Watson. I think she's primed to run something really big here today.
Yeah, she looked good at Azusa and also ran the 4 and looked really strong. So with some competition, this, and you see her there, hip 4 is Sammy Watson, the veteran, has had a great career, and after such high expectations as a prep. So she's in the center of the track here, and we've got just a bit of a delay as we get ready to go here. We'll also keep an eye on 3-time Division 2 or 2-time Division 2 champion Skyland Webb. She was at Colorado Springs, now running for Saucony. One of those 201 mid type of runners that needs to keep an eye on, getting to USA's and being a factor. Where she's run races like this, and now can you be a factor on the national stage?
Here we go with this 800, and I'm excited to see. We also got some women in here that have broken the 2-minute barrier before. I believe there's 3 of them. So, like how we said, we're talking about sharpening at the beginning of this of the broadcast. Where will they be? Will they break 2 minutes here today? That would be a great day, but also a 2:01, a 2 flat would be something definitely to be happy about at this part of the season. So let's see what they do.
So Watson right there, and she even steps in front of the Pacers, and as we said, and they are all this field is in front of the pace lights at the moment.
These lights too slow. Speed them up.
And 2:01 or 2 flat 0.5 is that USA minimum. So a mark definitely on the minds of these women.
And they want to run fast. Sammy Watson is one of these women that has broken 2 minutes before in the 800, so she knows what that pace is like, and she's taken out right at 58.
And whether Watson wants it or not, at 58.8, as you mentioned, she is our pacer, and who's going to give her a challenge? Can Keegan get there with her? Plorty trying to make connection as well.
I think this may be a battle between Keegan and Watson here on this back stretch and on the home stretch. But like you said, Plorty is looking comfortable, and she wants to make a move on this back stretch, but Keegan seems to not want to let her.
So the pace has slowed just a little bit, and Watson looking to hold the front inside of 130 at 600 meters. Now being challenged on the outside, Keegan right there, giving her a run. Plorty a tight third. It's down to these three.
Wait, hold on, that's Allison Andrews-Paul making a big move, though, with about 1:10 to go. Can she come up there and get into this top three?
You are Andrews-Paul looking to gain as Watson is challenged by the duo from Nike, and it's going to be Watson very close. It looked like Watson had it at the lean. 2 flat 90 for Watson. She had to do all the work herself.
I'm telling you, those lights were way too slow. Speed it up for these ladies next time. 2 flat 0.90. A great season start for Sammy Watson. She's really won a lot of races at the beginning of the year. I got to see her win at Mount Sac. She won at Franson. She wins here today. It may not be the time that she wants. I hope she's happy with this two flat. That's a great time. But the wins, especially at this time of the year, uber important. So amazing race from Sammy Watson.
And considering the amount of leading she did, over 400 meters worth. So Plorty with a fine run of 2 flat 94, and Keegan in third at 2:01 flat. So Sammy Watson walks away probably wishing she was in the fast section after that run.
And I think we're going to see where that she could have definitely been competitive in that fast section too. And we're going to be imagining like, oh, what could she have ran once we see that fast section? Super exciting 800 meters to start off with. But we're just getting faster, guys. We're just getting faster.
So the next race on the track is section 2 on the men's side in the 800. So 51 flat is the opening pace light pace with the goal of 145.50. So Tucker Swinth, our scheduled pacer. So we'll keep an eye on Christian Harrison, the Georgia alum, always competitive and strong in these races. So Miawad from Egypt, the national record holder in Egypt, indoors ran 146.90, a national champion for Egypt. So, and we've got a couple from Atlanta TC. So Fior and Streech both are running well right now. So Luciano Fiore ran 146.41 last week at the Atlanta City Games. So he comes into this race very strong.
Luciano Fiore, he's always competitive. I think, like how we talked about with Sammy Watson, somebody that knows how to win. I remember being at the Armory last year and seeing him win, I believe, Dr. Sander, and then getting into the Millrose Games and the run 800 there as well. So Luciano knows how to win. Fiore is going to be competitive for sure.
Jackson Hoey also in this race. Ran a lifetime best at the Florida relays this year and 355. So he's 355 for the mile. So he's off to a strong start this season. So that Hoey trio really running well. So hip number 7 there is Miawad Empire Elite. So this is a strong field again, 145.50 those wave lights.
And like how you said, Christian Harrison getting off to a great start in lane 8. Like you said, I feel like I see him everywhere. I'd be at the grocery store and I feel like I see him. Like, honestly, he's always running. He's always competitive. And I think it's going to be exactly the same thing today. Expect him to be in this race in the headband there in lane 8. But it looks like Luciano Fiore is coming up there, trying to be up there in the lead, too. He's going to be competitive at the start.
So now Swinth grabs the rail for Fowler TC. The two from the Atlanta Track Club teammates settling into second and third. And Harrison, as we mentioned, just off of that lead group. So a group of guys who would love to put up a sub 146 right now. And Swinth, excellent on the pacing at the moment. Pretty aggressive pacing Looks like they're just under 52 seconds.
That's what we need. That's what we need right there. And I think Shane Strike, he looks great at the moment. Remember when he had that big breakout moment in that American record in the 1,000 meter indoors? I feel like he hasn't gotten back to that level, but the way he looks comfortable right now in Fiore, it looks like these two guys from ATL may try to go for this sweep.
Keep an eye on Camden Marshall, too, the former Big Ten champ. He's starting to move there on the outside, and he goes to the front just inside of 119 at 600 after a 52-second opener. And now this is Marshall. Is anybody going to bring him back? My goodness.
I don't know, but Yanori is trying to make an effort as well. Strike is trying to muscle something up as well, but Marshall, it seems to be running away with it, but I may have spoke too soon.
So Marshall reacted to that slow pace down the backstretch, and he does dip under 146, 145.79 for Marshall, just off of his lifetime best, but a tactically strong race. He made the move at the right time.
You have to. Like how we seen in the Sammy Watson race, that's a very hard thing to do, to run from the front and win it. With Fiore and Strike, they tried to do it. They tried to go for that sweep, but Camden Marshall was waiting patiently the entire time. And when it was time to make the move, he didn't hesitate. He went right for it, decisive, and got the win.
So Yanori, former All-American at Oklahoma State, just off of his lifetime best in second at 145.99. Shane Strike in third. So Camden Marshall kind of surprised everybody, and boom, he was gone.
No, most definitely. I think a lot of people were not talking about Camden Marshall. We weren't talking about Camden Marshall at the start of this race, and he surprised a lot of people, putting himself on the map. It feels good to get a win at the beginning of the year. He's a former Big Ten champ, so he's used to the press. He's used to the people being around him, but it's nice to get a win to start the year like this for Marshall.
Section 3 in the women's 1,500 is our next race that is on the track. And Athing Mu coming to the line here, an American record holder, gold medalist here in Section 3 in the 1,500. A strategic move, we're not sure, on the part of their camp. You mentioned maybe a focus on some over distance to gain some strength. You see her there wearing hip number 1 on the inside.
I think that is the focus. I think it is the focus on over distance. I think it's also a mix of it just being a long time till World Championships. Let's start off slow and get there. And my last theory, and I think this one plays really well. Athing Mu, if you guys have been following her for a long time in her career, she was a phenom, even in club track. When she was 13, 12 years old, Miles Split was following her around and going through all those press tours. So she's done a lot of events in her lifetime. And I think this brings her back to a little bit of her club track days. She may have never liked running the 3,000 or the 1,500 when she was a kid, but it got her ready to run the 8, the 400, and all of that, and to be the Olympic champion, American record holder that she is today. So it's fun to run a lot of races at times.
And we also have to remember that nobody's invincible, nobody's without vulnerability. And after a brutal Olympic trials, it's time to get back on the track, time to get in a race with a bunch of bodies like she's got right now and compete again. So I think that this is the right move to get back. Is it a slow way to do it? Yes, but do it right. I mean, we're shooting for September here.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see how she approaches this race. It seems like everybody's just going to key off Athing Mu, which makes sense. She's tall and she's very fast, and she's Athing Mu. Why wouldn't you key off of her in this moment, in this instance? But it looks like she is not looking to run anything fast today. This is a practice for her. This is a glorified practice. This is to break out the monotony of the training. But I know that these ladies are looking to get this win as well from Athing Mu.
And people like Sadie Sargent in this race, who's a very accomplished runner. She's right up there, as Maddie Mooney from Pacific Athletics Club, Alex Malemi, she is our pacer here out front. but they're ready to get this race moving. It's conservative early.
Yeah. Manny Moody was definitely like, hold on, man, I'm not trying to run this slow. Like, let's be competitive. Let's string this out. If a thing Mo comes and gets me at the end, that's fine, but let's make this honest out of it. I also want to mention Maddie Mooney. She has a great Instagram. Kevin, you should definitely follow. She goes through her year. She did it last year when she was at Wisconsin. Give a follow to Maddie Mooney. She has a great Instagram.
I will. And Gabriel Wilkinson of Atlanta TC amongst our leaders there in the black kit. Now, a thing Mo sitting in about 6th, but connected with the lead group.
No, she looks good at the moment. Definitely still connected. She has the speed, so she can just be in the conversation when we get there with about 500 meters left to go. A win is definitely capable for her. But Maddie Mooney is still sticking right on this pacer and looks comfortable, to say the least.
So the wave lights set at 4:08 flat, and they are basically on those lights. So that lead group of 6 or 8 basically together as Lamelli steps off through 800 meters. Now you see 7 women right together down the backstretch, a thing Mo sitting in 4th.
Yeah, she seems to be pretty comfortable in that position. I don't think we're going to see her move anytime soon, but now it's the time to really get into position and start thinking of where are you going to make these moves in these next 600 meters.
So now Wilkinson moving into 2nd. Holly Parker of Brighton Phoenix to the inside of Mo. Melissa Tanaka running in 3rd at the moment. So Mo just kind of biding her time there in the wings of this lead group.
Yeah, this is going to be a kick to the end. This is going to be exciting. I can hear the crowd. This is the loudest we've been now because they know the race is tight. They know we got an Olympic champion in the field, and they want to see some fireworks. Are we going to get some fireworks, Kevin?
Let's do this. So we are inside of the last 400. That was 67.3, so conservative 3rd lap. Now Thing Mo moves into 3rd. Wilkinson, Parker, Tanaka, Mooney, all right there.
Wilkinson has been running a great race so far, but now she has to take the lead. Now it's time to do what winners do in this moment and stay comfortable and try and move with this pack. Let's see if she can hold them off with about 225 meters to go.
Thing Mo looking very controlled, very composed, and very ready to win this one as she moves into 2nd.
Holly Parker wasn't trying to back down as RX. Gave a little elbow to a thing Mo, and she's trying to make sure she does not get this win. Everybody wants to win this race today.
Sadie Sargent coming on the outside as a thing Mo goes into the lead. It's now down to thing Mo and Sadie Sargent.
Okay, Sadie, get that scout.
And Sargent powering to the front. So this is going to be Sadie Sargent on the win.
Great races.
Section 3 win to Sadie Sargent in 4:10.01.
That is a great race for Sadie Sargent. Like I said, being able to beat someone who's so accomplished as a thing Mo, I think is always a confidence boost. But also, great race for a thing Mo. Extremely comfortable. I think she may have won a bit more of a kick the last 100 meters to get through this strength phase. But to be that comfortable and relaxed and to stay comfortable in a big pack like that, that's big, you know?
You know, the reality is that all of these competitors here, including you see a fine competition here won by Sargent, they're all looking for a kickstart of some sort, right? And their kickstart is personal. And so as they look for that kickstart, you know, where's it going to come from? Is it going to come in the last 100 when Sadie Sargent comes around you? Is it going to come from running in a pack? And we're starting to see, we've had some nice appetizers so far. So the main dish coming soon. And so that was our first 1,500, and we're moments away from the Section 3 on the men's side, and we can step away for just a moment. We are at Occidental College. This is Track Fest on FloTrack. Jays are enjoying Track Fest here at Occidental College. We are in Southern California, Los Angeles. I'm with Joshua Potts, and we have seen our first 1,500 meter competition here at Track Fest. A good one, won by Sadie Sargent. Now we'll turn to the men, and we'll have section 3. You see the gentlemen working their way down the backstretch. So had some good action so far, Joshua, and we're getting ready for men in the 15.
No, still a lot. We're getting a lot of athletes who are starting off their season, trying to kick things off really strong, and it's the same thing for these men today. A lot of them want those breakthroughs here in 2025. When you set New Year's resolutions and you write them on the wall and you put it there and you stick to it. Well, a lot of these athletes are disciplined in that exact same way, sticking to their game plan, trying to make things get happen. But like a lot of these disciplined athletes, they make it happen. This is the step to getting to those New Year's resolutions, getting to those goals that they write on the mirror every single day. And so it's motivating to see them out here at Occidental College this evening.
So the wave lights for this race are 3:38, and this is a field that is set up beautifully for this type of race. So wave lights at 3:38. Braxton Bruner will be our pace setter. This race scheduled to go off in just about 3 minutes. So we're going to keep an eye on Clay Pender. He's a Georgia grad that was an 800 special. That is an 800 specialist. Has run 146.7, 3:57 for the mile. Those two times don't go hand in hand, and he appears to be ready for a nice drop. We'll also keep an eye on Tinajaro Alvarez from Mexico. His countryman Fernando Salinas also in this field. Two guys looking to make a drop. Aiden Coles from Canada and Andre Ale Lamarche. Those two guys have run 3:40. So these 3:38 pace lights seem to be set up beautifully for these gentlemen.
And I want to shout out to being somebody that I come from the mile split background. Andreas Dibdahl, he got his high school jersey on today. Back-to-back state champion in the 1,600 meter. He's wearing number 8 right there. He's running unattached today. He runs for UCLA. Andreas Dibdahl, I think he has the chops of an amazing miler in the future. And he's just getting started there at UCLA. He has a PR of 3:54 from this season. So let's see what Dibdahl can do. He's really competitive, always a smart racer. But you with the big dogs now, it's a different story, you know.
And Dibdahl with the German affiliation too.
Oh,
so
there we go.
So running for the Bruins and running for Germany this evening. So take another couple of minutes. You see our fantastic meet director Jesse Williams, the owner of Sound Running, got another event off and running in spectacular fashion here this evening. The 10 was an amazing event for Sound, and here we are again at Track Fest. Another great season, 2025, and Jesse's been doing this all of a sudden for 7 years. You know,
wow.
This is the 7th season.
Really?
And the crowd enjoying it here. Yeah, the first event was in 2019, and here we are in 2025 at Occidental, and the crowd has definitely filled in in these early sections as they get ready for multiple Olympians, multiple national champions, shooting for some awesome things this evening.
Man.
So we're about a minute away from this 1,500.
7 years of like Sound Running. Like you think this really like popped up during COVID. There's a lot of things that people started during COVID that they're not doing right now. So shout out to Jesse Williams for keeping this going. Just overall passion project that's turned into a real circuit just for the U.S., but not just the U.S. We have Canadians, we have people from Germany, Belgium, the U.K., people coming far and wide to race at the Track Fest, race at Sound Running, and I love that they're doing it in Southern California because it's not a far drive for me. So,
you know, of all the great things that Sound has done, my favorite is when Jesse made the rail out of bricks, and that was legit. Like it was World Athletics approved. I think he went to Home Depot and bought 700 bricks or something, and aptly named the Brickyard. You know, so so many creative things have been done, and he's really adjusted well to the needs of athletes. Mm-hmm. And you know, with the wave lights, with the timing of these events, with the 10. I mean, that was the ultimate athlete-friendly thing. Hey, we needed 10,000 meters. Let's do a whole event around one distance. But this evening, it is strictly focused on distances and not just the top dogs. Here we have Section 3 with a handful of gentlemen that would love to see 3:39.999, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and that's not enough to get to USA's. That's not enough to win an NCAA title, but it is something to take a step for these athletes, and hopefully somebody in this field can do it.
And hopefully for the fans at home or even just here in the stadium, they may see one of these guys be a U.S. champion in 5 years or Olympic champion in 6 years. You never know where your start is coming from. A lot of people, it's a Foot Locker or a national champion at NXN, but for some, it's through the woodwork, and you get there just on your own grit.
And this is definitely one of those races here. Section 3. And just so we know the qualifying, 335 flat is kind of that USATF championships minimum, or excuse me, 39. So that's a time that is definitely something these athletes are thinking about. They want to be in play for USA's, those Americans here in the field.
It looks like we got Bobby Pointner. He was just in that 800, but now I think he's going to do some pacing duties as well to try to hang on and try to bring these guys around. So expect some fast times. And it looks like everybody is trying to go with the pacer as well. So they're trying to run fast. They're trying to get some PRs. They're trying to start off this season strong.
You just wanted to see that outstanding outfit by Pointer. He's got the best look so far.
It's cool. It's cool. That's what I would be wearing if I was out there. I gotta say that.
So you mentioned the collegiate Dibdall. He's in this field, but everyone pretty well intact. 44-1 on the opener, and they're right at just inside of 59 through 400 meters.
There you go. Pointer going to take them around now for this second lap and going to handle a lot more of these pacing duties. He's getting a little bit of a gap on the field, about like 4 meters, but everyone's still there and trying to still run fast.
It's in the best interest of this field to stay connected to Pointer as he leads that charge to sub 340. These gentlemen need to be ready to be on him as we are slowing just a bit through 600 meters.
Yeah, Salinas is falling off a little bit, but he still looks pretty comfortable, I would say. We'll see when these guys start to really challenge him, how he responds. Aiden Coles is starting to come up on his shoulder, and he's going to try and make some things happen over these next 2 laps.
So Cole, you said moved there on the outside to get in position on Salinas. Pender there, Silas Franz from the Hoka Aggies, part of the lead group as well.
And there you go. Aiden Coles is trying to make something happen now with about 700 meters left in this race, and he wants to run this fast. He may be looking to try and catch up to those lights to get the time that he's looking for.
Jamie Moreland moving into second, running for Santa Monica TC. I love the old school jersey. That's awesome. You don't see enough Santa Monica TC around, but they're in second. Salinas, Coles there.
He's definitely not running like Johnny Gray, but let's see if he got the grit for it in his last 400 meters.
So a little slow through 1,000. You can see many swinging wide, including Andres Dibdall.
I was about to say it. I would be kind of scared if I seen Dibdall. I seen this man run down a lot of people in the high school state meet. I don't know if he can do it to the grown men, but it will be interesting to see what he can do.
So he's right there on the edge of the front. The pace is conservative as Moreland goes to the front right at 3 minutes at 1,200.
300 meters left to go, and Dibdall is still gearing up for a good pick. But like you said, he is really moving right now, Moreland. He's trying to make sure this last 200 meter, nobody can catch him.
And now it's Dibdall into second. Josh, can he pull this off?
I think so. He has a heck of a kick. He's 1 year stronger since the last time I seen him run, and he's running like a grown man, a college man, a freshman this last 120.
So Moreland looked over his shoulder to the right. He saw the teenager and put his head down to dig, but Dibdall fighting back, and it's Dibdall moving to the front, the UCLA Bruin and former prep from Southern California on the win.
Man, am I Nostradamus, Kevin? I don't know. Andreas Dibdall doing his thing. That was basically flashbacking to state 2 years straight for Andreas Dibdall. That's how he wants the race. The race played exactly into his hands, and he got a PR from it too as well. Like I said, I think he has the makings of a great miler in the future, and hopefully these times keep on going down for this freshman in the future.
And that wasn't all just for show. A 56.9 last lap, 3:42.52 on the win. Moreland at 3:42.69, Cole 3:43.77. But after pretty conservative, basically 60 flat pace through the first 1200, Dibdahl throws down to take the section.
And shout out to Moreland and Coles. They ran very aggressively, and they tried to really push this pace as it slowed down from the pacer. And we always like to see a good gap up after a race. I bet they're going to be talking it up, chopping it up, and having some great words of advice as they finish up.
So as those two competitors going 1-2 walk away, we'll step away from the track, but we'll be back shortly with more action in the 1500. We're just going to get faster and faster here at Track Fest, live on Flo. And all of our athletes can muster up enough energy for some post-race autographs here at Track Fest. We are in the middle of our 1500 action. The next race on the track is Section 2. Sadie Engelhardt finishing her time at Ventura High School in this competition. We haven't seen much of the North Carolina State commit. Number 3 all time in the high school mile, ran 4:08 a year ago at the 10 in the 1500. Engelhardt in this field.
I don't want to sound like a homer, you guys, but I am from California. My brother lives in Santa Barbara, where Andreas Dibdahl was from, right next to Ventura, where Sadie Engelhardt is from. They are in the same conference. They're in the same league in high school. I don't know, it may be a good day for Sadie Engelhardt after seeing Andreas Dibdahl doing what he did. So I'm just putting that out there. I don't know what's going to happen, but Sadie Engelhardt, super interested to see what she's going to do. She hasn't raced in a long time, I think since the Milrose Games. So excited to see what she's going to do, because June is going to be a big month for her. She's racing a lot.
So Engelhardt has run, like we said, 4:08. Now the pace lights here are 4:05 flat. So this is going to be aggressive racing, and Sadie Engelhardt going to have the chance to get on the heels of Anna Connor and Malia Menegatti. Those are our pacers here to go along with those lights. And it's not just about Sadie Engelhardt. We've got one of the best steeplechasers in American history, Courtney Wayment, in this field.
Courtney Wayment is absolutely phenomenal, and for her to drop down and do some really good speed work is going to be helpful for her. But this isn't just speed work for her. She is competitive in any race that she's in. If that's the 15, if that's 3,000 meter steeple, if that's the 3,000 meter indoor, even a 5K, Courtney Wayment can be competitive. She's in the right shape. But look at Sadie Engelhardt going right to the lead. She's not running like a high schooler anymore. She's definitely wants to be competitive.
So Engelhardt jumps to the front and has had success in these post-high school races, and not afraid, basically. She acts like she belongs.
Well, she's in high school. Let's not get forgotten. Remember, she opted out of the CIF season to just focus on the training of track, trying to do some more of these fun races, and she definitely runs like a vet, to say the least.
Right in there, not intimidated by anybody in this field, and out in sub 50 through 300. Courtney Wayment, we mentioned, had run the 10,000 also, so getting some variety here early in the spring.
Yeah, she's moving up and is great in position at the moment. It'll be interesting to see how she keeps on moving up and tries to get positioned just overall throughout this race. Marta Penn Freitas as well. She's a great competitor anytime she races a 1,500 meter. You can't see her at the moment. She's a little tucked in, but this young lady is phenomenal. She's a little boxed at the moment, though.
Keep an eye on Bailey Hertenstein, All-American at Colorado, sub 15 for 5K. So Sadie's going to have some competition here, needless to say. Grace Boone right up there early. Jayla Hancock Cameron, the Australian. Tight field here through 600.
Yeah, it's anyone's race at this moment. I would look at anybody from Brooks Beast. Tegan Shin Becker, she's an amazing athlete who was great in NCAA, and she's out right there on the outside where she's not too far off from this lead pack right now.
66.8 on the second lap. Engelhardt sitting in about fourth with a lot of company. She's got Wayment on her outside, and that is Grace Boone starting to step away from this field. She's run 4:09 lifetime best, takes the lead at 800 meters.
And Jayla Hancock Cameron is right behind her, trying to move with Boone, and the second pack is trying to make a move as well to make sure they don't get too far away.
Hertenstein getting into position, as is Jen Randall, who is in fourth, with Engelhardt running in fifth.
Grace Boone looks really comfortable. There's 600 left, so still a long way to go, but she's getting a good gap on this field. Looks like Sadie Engelhardt is kind of out of this race at this moment, but it's her first race in a while and definitely wants to finish strong. So definitely focused on trying to have a good finish this last 500 meters.
I like the look of Hancock Cameron. Like, totally controlled, totally comfortable. Hertenstein there, also in position in third. We're at 3:03 at the bell.
Hancock Cameron definitely does look good. These ladies at the top three right now are going to battle it out. I think on the back stretch it's going to come out down to who's going to feel the most comfortable, who's going to make a move too early, who's going to make a move too soon, who's going to make a move too late, what's going to happen this last 300 meters. This one to get spicy.
So Grace Boone is going to have to react here, and that may happen sooner than later as Hertenstein comes on the outside. The sub-15 5,000 earlier this year, she takes over with 200 to go. This is Bailey Hertenstein to the front, Pac-12 champion at 5,000 and 10,000. She is looking to win this second section. Can anybody catch Hertenstein? Doesn't look like it.
Oh, that's game over. That's game over. It's over, ladies and gentlemen. That is Hertenstein. Last 100 meters, same cheese, and she's trying to finish strong.
So that strength coming into play here. And this is a fine run for Hertenstein. She brings back those pace lights with a fantastic close in 4:06.39, 62.5 on the last lap.
An amazing race from Hertenstein. Definitely waited for the right moment and knew that she could win that race. Didn't look back and honestly had some extra kick in that legs. 4:06 is a great time right now in this time of the season.
Yeah, Hertenstein has got to be itching for another 5,000. After that type of run, she played it well. Grace Boone had got to give her some credit. She had to do a ton of leading and ran 4:08.51. So a nice run by Boone in a lifetime best, we should mention. So, but the way Hertenstein, this is the type of person, you see her walking off the track there with Boone. Is she going to be able to step into the arena with some of the top pros? Like, is she going to be able to go toe-to-toe with Cranny, et cetera, Krisha Schweitzer? I mean, you have to be thinking that way. You can't just go do it. Like, you have to believe you can do it before you do it. She showed it tonight.
Yeah, and running a 4:06, time means a lot, but doesn't mean everything. But running a 4:06, I believe Schweitzer a couple of weeks ago at Oregon Twilight, she ran around the same time, 4:03 to 4:06. So she is in that conversation when it comes to speed-wise, but she needs the strength. You need all of it around, but to be able to get this 4:06 is a big marker. She was moving fast that last 150 meters, and that's the thing that can get lost in a lot of distance running. People think that you don't need speed. Nah, you need that speed, and she definitely showed it today.
I think there's a lot of value in a win too.
Yeah.
I think that there's this is not a championship. This is an awesome meet, but this isn't some sort of massive, there's no medal and award ceremony and all that. But learning how to win and then executing a win has a lot of value.
And I want to go to this too. Winning pays the bills. Let's be honest. Running, amateur running to the very least, doesn't pay the bills a lot of times. But when you can win, and you move up the ranks, and you just continue to win and win and win, the bills will come, the accomplishments will come, everything will come to you as you continue to win. The times will come, most definitely. And it's great to do that at a meet like this today.
Let's get ready for section 2 on the men's side in the 1500. The wave lights are set at 3:35 flat. That's pretty aggressive pacing, and much like that, the 4:05 pacing on the men's side, somebody's going to have to go out. They're going to have to assert themselves early in this pace, or in this race, with 3:35 lights. So Adam Swanson is our set pacer. Christian Noble, running for New Balance, has had a long, strong, and very strong, successful career. You see there is Tanner Meyer, a Minnesota distance elite. So who's going to step up out of this field and make that move and get on those aggressive lights?
I think people are going to be expecting Christian Noble to do that. The kind of career that he had as a collegiate was definitely something that was notable, being from the D2 ranks. And so everyone knows his face. They want to see him take the lead, I would presume. So it's going to be interesting to see how people play off him. But then even like Isaac Baston, like he has a very accomplished collegiate runner as well. When you're not as accomplished, you kind of go in the race and you look at those other guys like, can you lead this race for me? I know you've done this before. So it'll be, hopefully we don't have too many people kind of like leaning back to seeing who's going to make that move. It'll be interesting to see who really does want to take it and be that alpha today.
I'm keeping an eye on Caleb Easton, who's run 3:57 for the mile. He'll be wearing hip number 11. So keep an eye on Easton and see if he's ready to take a step in this field. Also, Diego Lacamore of Argentina has run 3:38.92. So there's just some players there. Who's going to step up? Who's going to step into that rail position onto the pole and make the commitment?
We'll see. I'm excited for it, Kevin.
The way that Anna Connor ran that last race, Grace Boone, where she asserted herself and got that lifetime best, like sometimes you just got to get out there and let it roll. There's Bastian, you mentioned him, so definitely one of our favorites here in this field this evening.
And I think just go back on that, even if it doesn't go the way that you want. Look at someone like Sadie Engelhardt. She also asserted herself, but then fell off the pace and didn't run the race that I bet she was expecting, finishing about 4:18 or so. But to know that they get that muscle memory of getting out hard and pushing out each time in a race is very valuable. So like you want to be that aggressor. You want to be the person that's trying to run your game plan no matter how you feel, because when you feel good, it'll come together. But sometimes you just gotta have a few bad days and then you get there.
I think that's the purpose of this meet, is to sharpen the blade, but also shake rust, right?
Yeah.
And Sadie Engelhardt had to do that the hard way tonight. I mean, but you have to start somewhere, and especially when you make the decision that you're done with high school and that you're gonna run against pros. Well, this is the reality of it, and you can't go to a dual meet and run the 400, So she has to do it in an uncomfortable way. And the same can be said for a lot of these guys. While none of them are in high school, they've got to shake rust, and it might be uncomfortable. And we are underway. This is section number 2 in the men's 15.
It's going to be an exciting race, and it seems like it's going to be a little comfortable to go out the start. Actually, no, I take that back. We're running hard. We're ahead of these lights. Let's see how we keep on going for this men's 15.
So out to Adam Swanson, who will set the pace. He's up in front of those pace lights again. 3:35 flat. And these men are zeroed in and ready.
It was a little bumpy in the start off this race, so hopefully we string out a little bit more. Hopefully the pacer can pick it up a little bit to make sure that we don't get bunched up. Don't want to see anybody go down today in the men's 1500. But a 44 to start off in the first 300, I think we can pick it up a little bit more.
So this is Swanson leading everybody right there, and it is a little conservative. We're at 59 flat through 400 meters. So those purple bluish lights are for the pacer, and Swanson right on him. Hopefully he can stay in the game here for a while, but he's getting away from this field. Again, these are aggressive. This is aggressive pace.
And that's Caleb Easton in second place, leading the real race right here. But that Rabbit is getting away of these guys. But it looks like in the back, they're really comfortable at where they're at. But Caleb Easton is definitely trying to push and get up onto this pack. Let's see if it will pay big dividends or crash and burn a little bit. But either way, it's a great way to start the season.
Eric Gibson looks particularly good running in second. And Meyer on the inside. Those two guys look very dangerous. As did Brett Meyer running for Tracksmith. He's in about fifth. So who's going to strike as they're at 158? So picked it up a little bit. That second lap in 57 flat. So we're slow early. And now Salgado goes to the front.
And a lot of our biggest names, I feel like, in this field with Christian Noble and Isaac Baston, they've stayed back this entire time. Sometimes that can make the people in the front kind of forget that they're in this race. Then they kind of surprise them at the end. So we'll see if they have a big move in these last 500 meters.
Right now it's Ryan Fulks who's on the heels of Lacamore. And we've had a lot of movement up front, but it's Lacamore that has made the commitment, and Ryan Fulks in his wake. Those two right together, 2:42 at the bell.
And that was Nick Foster making a big move, trying to get into third and fourth place. He's trying to get into great positioning with 300 meters to go to have a big kick to go into this. But honestly, it's really bunched up. Anybody can win this if you have the kick in your system.
2:56 mid at 1,200 meters after a 58.8 third lap. Now Noble trying to make it happen there on the outside. Noble with the big move.
There you go. Sometimes you forget about them, but the good ones will come back to you eventually, especially if they got that kick in them.
And Noble moving, but Fulks is at the front, and this is Fulks, Lacamore there. And can anybody challenge? Can Lacamore get around as Nick Foster on the rail? And it's Foster, he's being challenged. And here comes Bastion on the outside. Joshua, you called him, and it may have been Bastion. We'll wait, and it is 55.4 on the last lap for Bastion, and he drops a big win. Don't forget about the kickers, and Bastion comes through.
A 55.4 final lap. I want to see the last 100 though, because that had to be a 13, 12, I don't know, maybe a 11. Isaac Baston saved it at the end. He had something a little bit left. Really hanged out in the back. A lot of that was very comfortable and complacent in that setting. I think he really just wanted the win today, and he got it. A 3:38 is something to go home and be happy about. He has a 3:36 PR, but running 3:38 in May, hey, I'll take it.
So nobody really went, and it left the door open for a guy like Bastion. So fine running. You saw Noble make the move. He gets up into fourth. Lacamore with a lifetime best in third. But Bastion, he should be going over to sign some autographs right now.
No, absolutely.
He deserves it. He had the best 100 that we've seen so far this evening. And get some high fives for the kids. Sign some autographs. Hopefully they know who he is before they ask for the. They should now.
No,
right?
they definitely should. They definitely should. He looks like a rock star. Let's be honest. The tattoos, it reminded me of Harry Styles. He got the moves and everything. He got the very distinct form to where you know he's a hard worker, and that gets the fans cheering for him, I think, regardless. And especially a kick like that, everyone loves a good kick.
So Bastion's got to be excited about that close. So it was conservative early. He's out in 45 and running some 58-second pace, but he closes and wins it. This spring on Flow, we are so excited to have the Diamond League, and be sure to check in and tune in to the Athletes Lounge presented by Tracksmith and Fleet Feet. Throughout the 2025 Wanda Diamond League season, Olympic medalist Trey Hardy, English Gardner, and Matt Centrowitz will go in depth and on track and field, giving you insider information analysis, and anecdotes to help you enjoy and appreciate your favorite sport in a unique and fun way. Check it out tomorrow at 1:15 Eastern, as well as all of the Diamond League offerings from Rabbit Morocco. So exciting to have the Diamond League on Flow, and with Centro, Trey, and English on the mic for Flow. The takes are great, and more important than the takes is their expert analysis and experience. You know, Trey Hardy had Tommy John surgery in advance of I think it was the 2012 trials, and his elbow came around just in time to get that jab out there. You know, I mean, these guys have all been there. Centro's battled through. English Gardner's done tons of relay action and had huge success when she was a Duck. So that's a great crew.
No, absolutely.